Because life is always trying to get you to be more open. Every experience is, whether it seems like, like whether it's something that seems to hold you back or something that seems to push you forward, it's always trying to get you to open up in some way or another. And whether that's making more time for others or making more time for yourself, or maybe just letting go of old patterns, even just letting go of the idea that you have of yourself. That's a big one. That's a huge one. You realize your whole life, your whole idea that you have of yourself is just a relative point of view, and that point of view can change within your own self. And you're like, well, who am I really? If my idea of who I am, the person I thought I was, can change, then who am I really? And that's the beginning of spirituality, or the end result of spirituality, or the process of spirituality, because you realize there is no clear beginning or end to the process. It's an ongoing not a moment of enlightenment, but an enlightening. You're enlightening the load. You're taking the heavy stuff and naturally transmuting it. Just like all the things of nature take the heavier, the denser, the stinkier, the more compostable material, and they turn it into beautiful fruits and seeds that grow a whole forest. And this is your life is the same process, reflected in all the workings of nature, and all the workings of nature are reflected in your artistic expressions and your musings and your poetry, and you talking to another person. And it can be anything. Sometimes life can be so dynamic. One moment you're waxing poetic about the moon and dancing beneath the stars, and the next moment you're making fart jokes with your dad. It's like it can be that. Like you can literally jump from one facet of yourself to the next and lose nothing in the process. Lose nothing in the in between. Everything feeds everything else. Everything fits in everything else. So every death that you will experience is the new arising that is yet to come. We fear death. We fear death so much, and yet death is the most beautiful thing. Imagine if everything you ever made, or everything you ever thought, or everything that you were ever supposed to be just never died and it never changed. I mean, you would just we'd all have mountains of stuff. We'd have mountains of stuff we'd have to take care of, and it would just be such a burden. Death is actually responsible for all that beauty and freshness that we perceive every day. We all love the freshness of the spring and the fragrances of the flowers and the heat of the summer, and we all love the beauty of coming out of these colder seasons into a more warmth and more vitality. We all love that, but we never get to experience that if we don't embrace the death of it all. You know, the reason that you can harvest so many fruits and vegetables come harvest time is because the plants are dying, because things change, things age. That's what gives it its ripeness. That's what matures things. It's in their aging that the sweetness is revealed. So, you know, when you open yourself up to love, and you open yourself up to the process of becoming, and sometimes the process of unbecoming as well, because it's life and death. It's all life and death rolled into one big experience. And when you open yourself up to this, yes, you do experience the death of arrogance. And you do experience the death of anger, and the death of frustration, and the death of pain, and the death of ego. And, these things can come up very strongly sometimes, almost as if there's a part of you that, no, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. And then you're like, oh, wait, that's not who I am. Because then you experience the blooming that takes place on the heels of that death, and you realize, wow, I'm still here to experience the new season, the new life. I didn't die with the old stuff. I didn't die with the frustration. I didn't die with the anger. The pain went, but I'm still here. And that's a beautiful, beautiful revelation, because you go on, and your consciousness goes on, and your spirit goes on, And life can never, nothing in life can take that away because you are life. You are life. You are all the movings and all the witherings and all the bloomings, and you're experiencing it all. And yet there's a place, see, you perceive it as well. You are it, but you're also perceiving it. And there's a part of you that knows somehow that it's all just a play. It's all just a play of consciousness. It's all just an experience. And you're not bound by it because you perceive it from a more impartial place within yourself. But there's not a lot to say once you get to that realization. You can talk about the dynamic reality, the livings and the dyings and the comings and goings. It's very easy to talk about. But when it comes back to who you are in relation to all of that, who you are only you can confirm and experience for yourself because it's beyond words ultimately. Maybe, and it really doesn't do it justice to talk too much about something that's really not outside of yourself. What are we ultimately talking about? It's not me talking about some other thing that you are someday going to realize. This is only for you as you are right now. And any resistances that you feel, that's just the breaking out of the acorn shell. Your sprout breaking out of the hard stuff that's been built around you. And maybe for a time it protected you, but now it's time to grow out of it. And so you crack the shell. So if you feel resistance or you feel frustration or you feel afraid to hear something like what I'm saying right now, it's just the breaking out of, that's just the shell that's been built around you. It's just the shell you've built around you to maybe protect your more precious nature inside, the little seed that wants to grow. So you break out of that and then you can grow. And it is sometimes it's a painful process. And that's the funny thing, pain and pleasure and beauty and ugliness and fertilizer and fruits and all these different experiences, they go hand in hand. It's really just the same thing seen from a different point of view. Two sides of the same coin. You look at it from this angle, it's one thing. You look at it from the other angle, it's the other thing. It's the opposite. From one angle, it's the roots. From the other angle, it's the fruits. You know. So, if you find yourself getting too hung up on anything, just don't judge life too harshly. Don't favor the beautiful things so much. Don't push away the ugly things so much. It all grows into itself and grows out of itself and reaffirms itself, and it's all for you, and you're for it. And yeah, what more needs to be said? So here's wishing you a beautiful day, no matter what's happening for you, what you're experiencing, what you're feeling. It's a beautiful day, and it's not just a glamorous day. No, it can be what it is. You can feel what you feel. It can be wild and uncertain, and it can be all this stuff, but it's still a beautiful, beautiful day. And actually, it's more beautiful because of these things, not because these things don't come up for you. No, the true beauty in life is that there is beauty even amidst struggle. That's the true beauty, because it's not a weakness. Beauty is not weak. Love is not weak. You can say it's the strongest thing there is. And yet maybe it's beyond strength, beyond weakness, because it encompasses the whole play of strength and weakness. If you're in the height of health and you have all the energy and all the vitality in the world, that's an act of love. That's the providence of the spirit. That's the providence of truth, love. And if you're vulnerable and feeling weak and all you can do is hobble around with a headache, because we've all been there before, that's love too. Because the humility is just as important as the confidence and the assertion. When you're strong and healthy, you assert yourself and you're confident in yourself and you lead others confidently and truthfully. And when you're weak and you're vulnerable and you're scared, you have the humility to seek help and to seek guidance where it's given and to trust in the things that are bigger than you in that moment because you're going to feel very small in those moments. And those are the times to, or maybe you don't feel like opening up, but that's the time where you really want to open up because that's the time where, you're going to receive the help that you want. And sometimes, I say that sometimes we don't want to open up when we're feeling scared. But if you go so deep into it and get so vulnerable and feel so much uncertainty, actually becomes very easy to open up and to seek guidance. Because sometimes no matter who we are or how we live our lives, there are always moments where we come to that point where we have no choice. And it's actually such a relief to seek guidance from maybe a higher source or a deeper source inside of us. And to really just let go of the hang-ups and just do the thing that we really, truly feel to do inside, because that's really all that it's leading you back to is your own heart. And the only reason we ever really get into trouble or feel like we're so lost is because we're just overlooking the obvious. We're just overlooking our own truth. We're just overlooking the love that's inside of us, the true beauty of life. So, with that said, I know I said what more is there to say, and then I said a bunch of other things. So, but bless you, and I hope this resonates with you today, because I mean it, and it comes from my heart, and you know, there's more to come. Love you. Bless you. Till next time.